Okay, hi guys, welcome back to yasminecollects, and welcome if you are new. I hope you're having an amazing, fabulous, spectacular day today. Now, I already filmed the intro for this video and all of the B-roll talking for this video, but unfortunately, the microphone on my Sony ZV-1 has not been picking up what it's supposed to pick up. So instead, we're getting the built-in microphone inside this camera. If you know, built-in microphones in any type of camera, even this one, which I adore this camera. I think that it takes stunning videos. It makes me look like a much better videographer than I actually am. Even with this camera, the audio is just so tinny. It's so choppy. You feel like you're inside an aluminum can. So some of the B-roll I can't redo, so I'm just going to be going back and forth from my lovely microphone. This is a Blue Snowball, by the way. I think some people ask me about this microphone. It's a Blue Snowball. It's very cheap, but it gets the job done. And the terrible tin audio from the camera. So apologies in advance. Hope you guys can forgive me. But today we are talking about the 1987 Quasar VCR that I purchased from the thrift store. I got this like a month, maybe 2 months ago. The video came out a month ago, and I kind of just took a break from repairing VCRs because I was just kind of chilling out and enjoying my daily driver, which is the Panasonic VCR 4520. It was manufactured in the year 2000. It's a great VCR, but we're going to be doing just a little bit of troubleshooting and testing of this Quasar VCR. When I last tested it, which was during the thrifting video, it was taking tapes and functioning, but absolutely needed a head clean. I will reinsert the video of the first time I tested to make sure this actually worked. Hopefully it takes it. And I actually kind of am grateful that my microphone crapped out for this video, because I do have a lot more baseline information about this VCR since I already opened it up and I already serviced it. The interior of this VCR is really, really cool. This is 1987, so we're still getting some really, really high quality units being produced. We have not quite gotten to the flimsy plastic era and then the super, super dark ages of the late 2000s where we have automatic head cleaners and VCRs that are manufactured with one teeny tiny little chip to manage all the functions. So we're in the golden era, the golden age. There are some quirks of this VCR because of its age, but yeah, we're just going to get into all of it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but this is a very exciting video for me. VCRs are my bread and butter, and having an 80s one is literally the best thing in the world. I'm kind of just working my way back in terms of eras. Something I'm really interested in now is a Toploader VCR, which I know everybody's don't get one, they break, and a lot of you guys have told me to stay away, but I just can't help myself. Let's get into dealing with this Quasar VCR. I have a model number here. Let me be actually thorough. This is the model number VH5270. Okay, so first and foremost, the thing I have to do is set this little guy up. We are going to be doing all of the footage demos on a CRT. I acquired this Panasonic. It's a 13-inch manufactured in 2005, so not period accurate, but it is the only functioning CRT that I can tolerate in my collection, and for that, we absolutely love this budget find. I have it sitting on top of the VCR. I know that can be a bit problematic, but you guys, I cannot explain to you how freaking heavy this Quasar VCR is. It is pure metal. The casing is real, it's well built. If you've interacted with VCRs before, you might be more familiar with a combo unit where the plastic is so flimsy that you can push your hand on there and the plastic will kind of wobble and bend a little bit. Not happening with this Quasar VCR. I actually think that the VCR is more heavy than this Panasonic TV. It has only 2 component inputs, both the TV and the VCR, so that's kind of nice that they both support the same amount of component jacks. And I'm going to be using Elton John live in concert as my test tape. This is a tape that I'm not too concerned about getting eaten, so I'm hoping that it still works and it still plays. Okay, pop the tape in and see what we get. Okay, it's definitely playing. Or at least I hear it playing. I had an issue with this last time. Some of you guys also told me in the comments that these older 80s VCR players do not have like a blue screen or like a menu screen. So that's why I wasn't waiting to find that, because I knew I wasn't going to get that. But let's see. Maybe I have my input wrong. Alright. There we go. I just had the inputs messed up. There it is. And let me mute it, and I'm going to turn the lights off so you guys can see a little bit better. It needs a head clean, like, for sure. There's a lot of, like, fuzzies. I feel like it's actually not showing up that much on the CRT. And you guys get a shot of the picture, so we're looking pretty good. It really seems like it does it perfectly. Like, it plays it just fine. I don't think we're going to find any issues, but like I said, I still want to do a head cleaning, and I haven't played around with the VCR's insides in a while. So let me get this TV turned off, get everything here unplugged, and then we can chit-chat about the insides of this unit. All right, now that we have confirmed that the unit is still in functioning condition, we can actually get to servicing it. I want to show you guys the best VCR cleaning tool kit items that I personally use and enjoy. You can use anything you like, really. It doesn't have to be too fancy, but this is what I have found works the best. First thing I have here is a coffee filter. You always want to have coffee filters on hand. I enjoy them to use them kind of like what you would use a paper towel for. They're better though because you don't have to run the risk of having little teeny tiny microscopic fibers getting all over everything, because that's another thing. VCR heads are really sensitive, and if you damage them, you're kind of screwed. So you want to make sure that you have something to clean them with. We're not cleaning the heads with the coffee filter, but everything like kind of adjacent to that, the pinch roller, the audio heads, that kind of stuff, we're going to be using coffee filters for. So I have that. I also have 90% isopropyl alcohol. Some people have mentioned in the comments they recommend to get like industrial grade isopropyl because it's better. I don't have access to that. I don't know who would, but I guess there are some people that do have access to that. If you have suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments, but I just say don't do anything under 70, or really like 90 is where you want to be, because when you have like 70%, you're dealing with a lot of like additives and fragrance and like things that you don't want on your VCR. I also have a can of compressed air. I'm not going to end up using this compressed air because surprisingly there wasn't a ton of like dust or debris, but at this point I'm still like afraid that there's like a bunch of bug carcasses inside there. So you literally never know with an old item like this. There could be like bugs or something gross. And then my absolute favorite thing that I use, I highly recommend this product. This brand is MG Chemicals. I really like them because they make a lot of products that are specific for electronics. They make these like really cool domey Q-tips that don't have any fluff on them that I really want to purchase, and everything's relatively affordable. So these are chamois swabs that you can use. They're great because you can really like get against that head, but you don't have to worry about like little fibers getting everywhere, and also it's just like a hell of a lot easier. So I totally recommend these. They're my favorite. And then we have some just plain Q-tips. I'm gonna try to avoid using those, but I do have them. And then I also have a little thing of M-Coat right there just in case. So I'm just coating the top of the VCR here. We have like a little bit of an X. I'm assuming that this X was to indicate like a business throwing this unit out. It's in really good condition, and I kind of suspect based off the interior that this was probably used in like an office space or office building or some sort of corporate building, because it doesn't have that loving wear and tear that you see on a family VCR. This came off really easily. I just used the 90% isopropyl, and then I also covered a paper towel in water and wiped it off once again. And now look at that, it's all shiny and it looks as good as new. I was really nervous opening up this unit. All I could think about was, oh my god, are there bugs in here? I do not like bugs, so I was a bit afraid of that. But everything looks really great. I was very excited to see the interior of this because literally look at that circuit board. It is freaking gigantic. When I say they don't make them like that anymore, I mean they really just don't. And I'm pointing right here. This is the head that actually makes the the tape show up on your screen. And that's the thing that we're looking to get to. I did spend a good amount of time kind of familiarizing myself with the interior of this unit because I was not anticipating that board being there, and I definitely didn't want to take it off because I didn't think I was going to be able to get it back on, because on top of that board being there, the board was also connected to the chassis, which had like those little like wires you see there is where the board was connected to the chassis. So I would have to like undo the wires, take the screw out, and then lift off the board. And I have no idea if there's like other attachments underneath there, because these Quasar VCRs were created to be serviced, and we are going to look underneath them. Unlike something like a Panasonic, there is like some screws that you can undo to actually get to the bottom where you can look at the belts and everything like that. If you want more information on that, 12 Volt Vids does a bunch of really good VCR vids. He is like the goat on YouTube in terms of repairing retro tech. So I've learned a lot from his videos, and he's helped me a lot with some more irritating and hard to learn about or find information about problems. I also think this chassis is really, really cool. It's kind of like separated from everything else, which is something you also don't see too much. You know, you usually see the chassis in the middle and all of this stuff kind of built around it. So just fun little quirks that I enjoyed. Okay, upon looking at this a little closer, there are a few things that I would like to point out. I'm not going to immediately try to touch them or work on them or do anything, but I do just want to point them out. So first of all, I don't know if you can see this little pad here, but it looks like it's not completely like aligned here. Like it looks like it should be hugging this a little bit more, but it's not. And I notice it because these gears move when you power the unit on and off. So let me power it on. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to become problematic down the line, but it's something that I'm thinking about. You can see the head in action. And you know what? Since we're here, let's just see what happens if we rewind the tape. I did have a situation with having the Elton John tape in there. When I rewound it, I was kind of stopping it and then playing it, stopping it, playing it, just to see what it was looking like when the unit was actually taking the tape and pulling it through. I used the rewind function, and I think it kind of crunched up the tape a little bit, which is unfortunate because then the tape was not wanting to play on the VCR because it was like crunched up and stuff. So I think that's because the heads were so dirty that when I got the tape rewound, it was like getting caught somewhere. So maybe don't do what I did, because I think I might have screwed up that tape a little bit, but it's okay. We're going to actually get into cleaning the head now. I'm going to have you guys listen to the terrible camera voice because I think I explain it a lot better in the video than I will be able to in a voiceover, so apologies in advance. But I'm going to open my chamois now, and we're not just going to clean the heads though. We're also going to clean the tape path as well. So like the the pinch roller. There's also some audio heads down here that could probably use a little bit of cleaning as well. So I'm just going to take my little chamois, and I'm going to take my isopropyl and just load it up a little bit. You don't want too much. Like, you don't want it to be like utterly soaked. You want it to be moist enough and covered with the alcohol. You also want to be mindful of which way your head turns. Also, I just realized this VCR is still on. Okay, now the VCR is off. You also want to be mindful of which way your head spins. This one, I don't know like the difference between clockwise and counterclockwise, but this one is spinning this way. So when I turn it, and you can touch the top is fine, but you don't want to touch the sides because that's where like the actual data is being read. So I'm going to place the swab next to the head, and I'm just going to gently rotate the head. And you want to put like a little bit of pressure, but not too much. Here's some of the dirt coming off of it, and also whatever the heck that blue stuff is. I'm assuming that's like text or something. I'm gonna turn the other side to the other side of the little chamois. The heads are very delicate, so you don't want to like come in and start like moving it up and down or scrubbing it aggressively. You just want to get it enough to where you can get some of that gunk off. I don't know if this one had like its heads cleaned at one point. Honestly, there's literally no way to know, but it's something that you want to do at least semi-regularly. If you've gotten this far in the video, you probably weren't going to do this, but just also keep in mind those like VCR head cleaners and like head cleaning solution, or those tapes that you wet and insert into the VCR. I really don't recommend that you use those because, first of all, if you buy one of those, they're probably going to be freaking old, because I'm pretty sure like VCRs themselves stopped being manufactured commercially in 2015, so it's gonna be old. And then also like you run the risk of like a bunch of crap just spraying everywhere, which is not helpful. So it's much easier and safer to just open this up yourself. Now that the heads are thoroughly cleaned, I also took some time to saturate coffee filters in isopropyl to get the pinch roller, which the pinch roller was looking real sus. I'm gonna insert the B footage that I got from my iPhone. It kind of looks like the pinch roller is a little moldy. I'm not sold on it, and really, even though I'm excited about this VCR, and I kind of like, I mentioned this, you guys didn't hear, but I mentioned it in the original footage that I wanted this to maybe be my daily driver, just because I want to honor this machine. It's so old, it's been through so much, and like 80s VCRs are tanks and workhorses, so I just kind of wanted that to be my daily driver. But that pinch roller, I don't know if that's mold or not though. Let me try to get the shot here. I'm zooming in. You see those like weird little like crusty things there? I don't know. That seems a little bit sus to me. But there are the audio heads here. That pinch roller is kind of a deal breaker. It looks like mold. It might not be mold. It could just be like dirt or filth, but I had a hard time getting to it. I was kind of just like scraping at it with a Q-tip and whatever, like a chamois that I could like stick in there. But I think I'm probably going to have to take off that circuit board in order to replace the pinch roller. I'll have to see if I can find a 12-volt vid to help me through that, because I do not feel currently capable of doing that without seriously screwing something up. But and also it looks like a bigger pinch roller than what I'm used to seeing in like a Panasonic or something like that, where it's quite a bit easier to like replace those because they're right there in front of you. Anywho, I spend approximately 5 minutes trying to get the chassis cover back on this VCR. Even though it is a workhorse and I love it, I still hate putting these covers on just as much as I do with any other VCR. They are so freaking irritating. You can never get them lined up quite correctly, and it's just like the most annoying thing in the world. But after that, I open up the bottom chassis to show you guys. I have some speaking footage here as well that I'm going to insert. I know it sucks to go from microphone to this terrible quality. Just bear with me. Here is underneath the VCR. Very, very easy to take off. You will not see this in newer VCRs like with my Panasonic. In order to get down here, well, I have a rotating table that's spinning. In order to get down here, I had to take the entire chassis out and like move everything and replace it. That's the head right under there. These are some of the gears that help the tape move forward, and then we have belts. I wanted to check and see if these belts were like done. They still feel pretty taut. Like, they don't feel loose. I think I could probably benefit by replacing them, and I probably will down the line. I do like to make these videos and hear comments from you guys, and then afterwards I kind of use that to like inform my decision a bit, since a lot of you guys are really into this and probably know more about some of these things than I do. I don't have any desire to touch or mess with the mode switch anyways, but I don't think I see it here. We are now ready to do a test tape. Let's find out if the tapes still play on this 1987 Quasar VCR. Alright, so moment of truth. I have a pile of like older tapes that I don't care about as much. They're kind of like my pile of test tapes. We're probably going to do Alaska. If you're not new to this channel, you're very familiar with Alaska. I'm going to check the tape to make sure that there's no like weird Yeah, there's no like weird rounding or anything anything like crunchy looking, because I am going to rewind it on this unit and see what happens. So let me turn on my power strip. I also decided it's probably not a good idea to have this CRT on top of this, even though like this CRT is pretty light. Now that I know that like a lot of the like circuitry is in like the very top part of this unit, I don't want to risk breaking it. So let me turn on the CRT. I hope it works out and nothing bad happens. That's my goal. Whoa, scared me. I think it's playing. It's definitely playing. Well, I see a little bit, but oh no. Oh, this head looks effed up. Do we have sound?
In 1941, the Japanese attacked Hawaii.
Ooh. I clean the heads just like any other way I would clean heads. But maybe, I don't know, maybe those heads were on their last leg. Parent trap, we can do parent trap. We won't be able to do sound, but I know this one works too. I did also just turn the brightness down on this CRT, like significantly. Literally, you never know with like retro tech. Like it could be literally freaking anything. It could be the TV, it could be the VCR, because that seems fine. There's like a little bit of like a buzz. I do know that I need to rewind it just to see like if it destroyed that other tape. So if this tape gets destroyed, it's fine. Oh, Quasar, you strange little fella. Oop, I don't like that sound. It sounds like it's gonna eat it. Oh. Alright, it's rewound. What does it look like though? This one looks clean. Now what happened last time is it rewound it and then it wouldn't play it after I rewound it. So let's see here. Now it rewinds it. I mean, it plays it just fine now. No fuzzies either now that we clean the heads. Let's do like some fast forwarding, see what that's like. And here's tracking. We can mess with the tracking a bit. Okay. There's also like a couple other like the speed button. I don't know what that does. There's the counter. It says 6,135. I wonder like is that how many hours like the actual VCR has? Everything looks a lot better. Okay. All right. Wow. Maybe that Elton John tape, like something happened because I kept like messing with it before I actually cleaned everything. Like the heads probably just really needed cleaned and I was screwing with it before I actually cleaned the heads. That's a possibility. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I had so much fun working on this VCR. I love the 80s so freaking much, and finding an 80s VCR was literally such a cool thing. I had been looking for one, and it was just there at the thrift. Amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of want to compare all three of my VCRs, so I think you guys should be looking out for that video as well. I don't like making promises ahead of time because then I never end up doing them, but I'm so excited for all the videos coming up on this channel. I hope you guys had an amazing day. I hope you guys are enjoying the holiday season. It is already freaking December, which I can't believe it's December. Yeah, I think that's it. You guys can follow me on Instagram too if you want. That's my other social media that I'm active on. I'll leave it all in the description box down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.